Thank you. All right. So, are there questions from page 97, 98?
Yeah, don't eat that.
Let's take a look. There we go. What questions we got? Yeah. Number one. Okay. Number one, page 97 says.
It has like a papery substance on it.
It's sticky.
What page is this on?
97.
All
right. Shh. Determine CF50, interpret the result in the context. Use the cost function. That's the cost function to answer the question. The function calculates the cost in dollars of producing X candles. Okay, so we're producing candles. So we want to produce, we're going to take this 50 and we're plugging it, see it there, and it goes in there. So 450 plus 3 times 50. That's 150, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Is that your jewel? Is that your jewel you threw against the wall?
My jewel. I checked my jewel and maybe no.
So you have one?
No, I don't.
I just heard that.
Her jewel is on the ground.
Search me.
Her jewel is on the ground.
Anyone who would be stupid.
Lights off.
Lights off.
Where's the jewel?
Lights off.
Oh, I forgot I didn't have a cap on.
Nathan, can you plug that other cord back into that?
I'm going to plug my jewel into the wall.
All right, so 600, this means we want to produce, if we produce 50 candles,
Okay.
it's going to cost $600. That says produce. But no, thank you. What else did we see? Put your phone away, please. What else did we see? Yeah. Oh, okay. All right, number 2 says, determine the output of the function when the input is 100, right? Okay, so the input being 100. So that means the exact same thing as this. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go 450 plus 3 times 100. So that gives me 750, because that's 300 plus 450. So that means if you produce 100 candles, it's going to cost you $750. Number 3, interpret the slope of the function of the problem. So this is going to be my slope right here. Okay, because it's attached to X, right? So that means it's going to cost $3 per 1 candle to produce. And then determine, and then the y-intercept, this is the y-intercept. So the y-intercept means it costs $450 for all your setup stuff before you even do it. Like if you had to order a bunch of stuff. Right. So you have to pay for that before you even start producing them. And then determine the number of candles produced when you had $1,950. Hiya. Hi. She's at the band thing. So she's not here today.
Yeah, I know. So I think it's
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Okay. So she's on the bus someplace. All right. They so they say, hey, it's going to cost $1,950 to produce something. So I'm going to set that equal to 450 plus 3x. Okay. Does that make sense so far? So I'm going to subtract 450. So this is going to be 1,500 if I subtract 450 from it. Equals 3x. So x is equal to 500. So that means that it cost you $1,950 and you would get, if it was $1,950, you'd get 500 candles out of the deal. Yeah. Number 5. 5? Cinco? Number 5. An employee claims that 200 candles would be made at a cost of $1,000. Does that employee have a good claim? So he says that it's going to cost 200 candles. So I'll just plug 200 into this and solve that. That's 450 plus 600 because 3 times 200. So that's 1,050. And they said, is it only going to cost $1,000? He's $50 off. Okay. We good? And then C at 75, we just take 75 and plug it in there. So that's 75 times 3, 150, 225, 225, 675, I think. Yo, no. What else? Are we good with the input output, or you need me to do that?
Yes, please.
Do the input output?
Yes.
Okay. Complete the table. All right.
How are you confused?
So I have y equals negative 2x minus 7. And then we have input, output. Okay. Where are you going? Oh, because the trash can's up front.
Why is it over here?
You know, there's all kinds of things we don't know. All right, so on this problem, this will always be the input. This will always be the output. Okay? So the input here is, if you do the math, that's going to be 6 minus 7, so you get negative 1 for an output there. This is the input, so this means that I'm going to get 21 equals negative 2x minus 7. Add 7, so that's 28 equals negative 2x. So x equals negative 14. So that's how that works. This is an input, so that's going to be negative 2 times 0 minus 7. That just comes out to negative 7. And then input again. That's going to be negative 28 minus 7, which is negative 35. So negative 14 goes there as an input. That's an output. That's an output. So you're just doing the arithmetic. Okay, so number 8, in order to go through that, they give you this function. I'll just talk through these ones. This is for, they tell you that you have some f at t. F at t means the same thing as y. F at t is equal to 18t plus 15. So they want, on number 8, they want calculate f at 7, which means I'm going to take 7 and plug it in here, which gets plugged in there. And I'm not going to do the math for it, but you're going to get that. And then interpret the slope and the y-intercept. The slope means for the waitress will earn $18 for every 1 hour they work.
Oh.
And then the y-intercept means that they have a base of $15. Like if you're going to schedule to work and you show up to the event, you don't have to, they're like, hey, we have enough people, you get $15 automatically. And then the waitress earned 105 at last night's event, so then you'd go 105 here equals 18t plus 15. You go ahead and solve that, so subtract 15, divide by 18, and you'd get your answer. And then 11 and 12, you're just plugging in those values into x. 13, you're plugging negative 5 into f at x, so you have negative 5 equals negative 3/5 x plus 1. And that's about it. They're all done about the same way. All right, so if you would, be sure your name is on page 97. And go ahead and turn that in, please. Pass it forward.
I have 95. Do you want to sign that?
Sure, you can pass that up. Make sure your name's on, please.
Or do you want to look?
Oh, you'll be okay. So I can look to see that you're absent, and then I know that you get full points because I'm just that dude. Don't throw hers away. Go ahead. Ethan, I get yours over here, or do I need to come get it? I was just left-handed. Okay, softball. 3,
That's funny.
1. Yay.
Okay, southpaw.
Southpaw, left-hander, right?
That's a movie.
Thank you, Southpaw.
Yeah. You seen that movie?
Alright, let's see what we got.
Just a sweatshirt. These are jobs boxes.
There you go.
I'm wearing my sweatshirt.
and he was like a really good drunk boxer, but
I usually
then he was like, I need to do defense because his wife got killed. So then he wins
That was
against.
messed up when she died.
Yeah, bro. They weren't even supposed to be guns in the event. This dude just like pulled it out and shot. Like,
Sure. They loses everything he has.
what?
They loses everything he has.
Yeah, because he got drunk, smashed into a tree. He's like, and the court was like,
Oh.
you're unfit to.
Hey. So it's Friday. Happy Friday, everybody. Yes?
Who's ready for the weekend?
Yeah, we kind of had like a little holiday in the middle of this week there called Halloween. That was fun.
Hulu.
All right, so we're going to start using something called point slope. You've already seen point slope, so we're going to walk through it a little bit more. Is that all right?
Yes.
Okay, so first thing, they just want us to find the slope between the 2 points. And again, this is the slope equation. Guys, girls, you have to know it. I'm eventually not going to give it to you on a test. If you don't know it, guess what? You're going to sit there and stare at it going, I don't know how to do it. All right, so x1, y1, x2, y2. Plug them in. You get 4 minus minus 4, 5 minus 3. What's 4 minus minus 4? Yeah.
Positive.
-8.
Close.
Positive.
Positive 8. And that's over 2. 8 over 2 reduces to 4?
4 over 2.
4 over 1.
Oh.
4 over 1 is just 4. Is that okay?
Yeah.
So that's first problem. And again, I'm going to use my slope equation, find my second one. So I got x1 and I got y1. I got x2 and I got y2. Plug them in. So I'm going to get -5 minus -1 over 2 minus 6. Minus minus means plus, right? What's -5 added to 1?
4.
-4. And then 2 minus 6 is? -4. What's -4 over -4? 1. Done. Sweet. Okay. Then it says write the equation of the line in slope-intercept form where you have a slope of 2 and it goes to the point 1, 4. So let's see. I'm going to use y equals mx plus b. And I know the slope is 2. And I know this is an x and that's a y value. Agreed? So I get to that. So what am I solving for on this problem? What letter am I solving for? B. Good. All right, so that's going to give me 4 is equal to 2 plus b, subtract 2. So 2 is equal to b. So then I want the equation. Well, I already know the slope. Now I found b, so I'm going to plug back into y equals mx plus b. Y equals 2x plus 2. Is that right? But how do I approach number 4? I'm not given. Oh, yeah.
Would you do the x1?
So what is that?
The
What's it called?
slope equation?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to do the slope equation. So I'm going to find the slope first. Make sure you label them. x1, y1, x2, y2. And then I'm going to go, okay, well, that's going to be 5 minus minus 1, 6 minus 3. 5 minus minus 1 is 5 plus 1. 5 plus 1 is 6. 3, or 6 minus 3 is 3. So I have a slope of 2. Agree? Okay. And then we knew we could do this kind of like the one in green over here, right? All right, so let's figure this out. I'm going to pick this point first. I'm going to go y equals mx plus b. So -1 equals 2 times 3 plus b. So -1 is equal to 6 plus b. Subtract 6, so b equals -7. Okay. I get that. So that means that my equation is y equals 2x minus 7. Now before I move on, there's something we should look at. So was I just smart and I picked 3, -1? Or do you think something could happen if I said, hey, I want to pick that instead and plug into this? Let's see what happens when I plug that in. That's going to give me 5 is equal to my slope, which is 2, x, which is 6, plus b. Okay, 5 equals 12 plus b. How do you solve that? Subtract 12. So b has got to be equal to negative 7, and that's totally different than negative 7, right? So notice that. It didn't matter which point I picked. I get the same answer. Okay? Didn't just happen on accident. We didn't get lucky. We chose the right 2 points that that's going to happen with. But y equals 2x minus 7 is the only linear equation that goes through the points that were given above. Okay? 3, -1, and 6, 5. Feeling comfortable? Okay. Any questions so far? Everyone happy? Kind of? Cool. All right. So let's do this. We have the point 3, 4. So how do I graph 3, 4? Forget. Yeah, so over 3, 1, 2, 3, and up 4. And I got a dot right there. Does everyone feel comfortable? 3, 4 is right there? Is anyone like, hey? Don't think so. And then I have a slope of 2. So if I have a slope of 2, that means from this point I can go up 2, right 1, because 2 and 2 over the 1 are the same thing. Agree? So here's the line that contains 3 and 4 with a slope of 2. So all we need to do is graph a line, and we need 1 point and the slope. And we can use the same equation to write the equation of line. So I do have the slope, and I guess I could use y equals mx plus b. I could probably use this and solve for b and plug it back in. Agreed? And I know slope is m. I know that 3, 4 is x and y. So solve for b. That'd be great. Let's see. Or I could use, I don't know where it's at. Or I could use this. There we go. This is my point slope form. Now, remember, we're lazy. There technically should be parentheses around that. If there's parentheses around that, that means when I plug it back in, it changes signs. Agreed? Cool. All right. So somebody tell me what the point was on our last problem. What was it?
3, 4.
3, 4. And what was the other thing? Slope. And I had the slope. What was the slope?
2.
2. So I have a point, and I have the slope. So then I have point slope form. Form means formula, but we're like, cool, so we don't say formula. We're like, dude, do the form. All right, I'm just kidding. I don't know why they call it that. All right, so I'm going to call x1. I'm going to call that y1. Is that okay? I already know the slope. If I plug that information into my calculator, I have y minus y1. Y minus y1. What's y1? What did I just identify it to be? 4 equals 2. That's our slope, right? X minus x1. What's x1?
2.
3. So I can leave my equation as the point slope form. Okay, I don't have to go y equals mx plus b. I can just leave it like that. We good?
Did you put hand sanitizer in your eyes?
Yeah, why?
You did the same thing as James.
Nah,
Yeah, I don't goop it.
James was stupid. He does that like every day.
Isn't that not healthy?
Wait. He was
Doesn't it burn?
Are you kidding?
Yeah. It's good though. It's a good kind of burn. No, I'm kidding. No, that's why I do that and it evaporates.
Well,
Cocaine is legit.
Are you doing
just
it?
sanitizer.
Sarah's just like putting like heroin needles like
In his eyes.
I am.
That's
Wait.
like jackass.
Y'all think that cleans your hands?
What is my
Takes you to the land of make-believe.
Is that where you live on Jackass?
Why does it say 9?
Yeah, you like that, don't you? I'm just mad that the damn road doesn't lead me to there.
Jesus.
Alright.
The damn road.
The damn road.
That's right over there.
Yeah.
The
Damn road.
Wait.
The damn road's over there.
It is called the dam road. It's right there. It's the
It's
dam.
the damn road.
It's the road that goes over the dam. It's called the dam road.
Yeah.
The damn
But I live off Jackass Hill over there.
So why don't you take the damn road?
Well, it goes the wrong way.
Oh.
I'd have to like teach it Overland and then take the damn road.
Damn.
All right,
Damn,
let's
sorry.
take a look at this. Let's see if I can figure this out. How many more slides I got? This one and that one. Oh man, we got tons. Cool. We got 3 slides. Good. We got plenty of time. All right, ready? Slope is what letter?
S.
M. And this is going to be x1 and y1. Agree? So what is this going to plug into? I have y minus what? 7. Thank you. Equals slope, which is -3. X minus. Why is it +1?
Because it says it correctly.
Yeah. So it would have been -1, which becomes +1. There's our equation. That's our point slope. All right, so let's try this next one. Let's try this next one. I have a slope, which is here, so that's m. Agreed? And I have x1 and y1 right here. So let's plug that in. So I get y minus -8.
-8.
Plus 8.
Plus 8. It's plus 8 because it's minus minus. Get it? And then m is 2 over 5. And then x minus x1. What's x1? X minus 10. That is my equation. What?
How did you find 2/5?
They told us the slope was 2 over 5. So I just
Oh.
That's all I did, just plug it in. We good? Alright, let's move that down a smidge. Alright, the equation of line is, we got m equals 6, okay, and it passes through this point. Okay, so m equals 6, and that's x1 and y1. So we're going to plug right back into that equation. So ready? Y minus what? -7. Y minus -7 is y plus 7. Good. Slope of 6. X minus x1. X minus 3. Done. That's all it is. Dude, that's it. I think I totally understand this stuff. Finally. 23 years of teaching. Can I move on? Are we good? Bad? Indifferent? All right. Ready? Yeah. Write the equation of line with a slope of 1/2 that passes through the point 4, -3, and then change it to slope-intercept form. Okay. Let's do the first part. Can I do my notes?
Oh my god. Dude. I'm sorry. Are you kidding me? My bad. Good job.
So this is m equals, right?
My bad.
I will hand you notes every day, unless
Hey,
Christian
you have a problem?
holds them.
Oh, some prisoner.
Well, he's used to not having to pass
Yeah, I was
behind
like,
him.
He's not used to it, right? All right, and this is x1, y1, right?
What?
We all agree?
No.
Is that okay? We good? We good?
Yeah.
All right.
I totally get it.
All right, so y minus...
Oh,
Oh, it's plus 3 because it's minus minus, right? Slope is 1/2. X minus 4. Okay, so that's our point slope. Everyone okay with that?
Yes.
So then it says, hey, we want you to get to this. So notice there's no parentheses there. So I bet you I have to distribute 1/2 over the parentheses. And then y is by itself. Okay, so I'm going to do this first. I'm going to go distribute here and here.
That's 1/2.
So I get y plus 3. What's 1/2 times x?
1/2 x.
1/2 x. What's 1/2 times negative 4? Negative 2. How do I bring this positive 3 over?
Subtract it.
Subtract 3.
Subtract it. So I'm going to get y equals 1/2 x minus 5.
Yes.
Did I solve it for this?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So my slope is 1/2. What's my y-intercept?
Negative 5.
-5. Okay, cool. Hey!
Jesus.
1, 2, 3, 4. No, Jesus isn't here.
Over.
It's 1, 2, 3, 4.
Help me, I'm
Elizabeth,
Hi,
voices.
darling. I'm Keel.
The voice.
The voices.
Have you seen this?
Hilarious. Oh my god.
All right, I have one slide left. Are y'all ready for this?
No.
Think we can do it.
Jacob, you good? You good?
Here we go.
Not good.
All right.
Okay.
Oh, this is from tonight's homework. So if you write this down, then you can just transfer it to your homework and have that done. Okay, so it's number 19 from tonight's homework. It says a climber is scaling a 350-foot cliff at a constant rate. What does scaling mean? I don't even know.
Climbing.
Oh, he's not cutting the scales off the fish?
No,
If he wants.
he's scaling.
Where's your notes going on?
I gave it to her.
Oh. All right, so he's scaling at a constant rate of 350 foot. Okay. What does a constant rate mean?
Like it's
continuous.
continuous the same
Like he
thing.
doesn't
Yeah, if he's doing like if he's going up at like 3 feet a minute, he just keeps going the whole time, 3 feet a minute, right? I don't know. I'm just thinking up arbitrary. All right. The climber starts at the bottom of the cliff at 11 a.m. So about an hour and 35 minutes ago. And by the time it's 11:45 a.m., he has climbed up 90 feet. Okay. All right. So
Okay, so it took him 45 minutes to climb 90 feet.
that's what they're saying.
90 minus 350 is...
Yeah, he's still got a distance, right? He's not to the top, right?
260. 260
Okay.
divided by 90.
So let's figure this out.
I don't know.
How can I
It's
make
like 2 points.
that a point? What does that at the bottom mean?
He was just starting.
0? 0?
0.
Okay. So he's at the bottom. He's at 11 a.m. So I think so. Wait, what about 11 a.m.? Can I make that 0? 0? Ooh, stop for a minute. Hang on.
Stop.
So if he was at the bottom, if he's at the bottom, we can have that one be the 0, so 0 feet up. And then at 11, so that's his start. I could put 11 in right there if I wanted to, but I kind of like if I call it 0. That's a starting point, right? What are you figuring out?
I did all the notes on the wrong.
They usually transpire to me.
Sounds like you're saying.
All right. So now hang on. If my start time I made at 0, and at 11:45 you went up 90 feet.
No, I didn't.
Okay, hang on. So at 11, so 11:00, we should call 0. So 11:45 we should call what?
Midway.
Oh, the slope? No?
So think, okay, at 11 a.m., I use this 0, 0, and I put a 0 there. So if I wanted to make this point,
The X and Y intercept.
okay, now hang on. At 11:00, we'll put a 0. So at 11:45, we should put a
45.
45, thank you.
That's what I said.
No, you didn't. You're like,
And then 90.
Y-intercept.
45. I meant like 4, then 5.
Oh,
Gotcha.
Oh. But I was.
All right, and then he was at the bottom of the cliff, which means he was 0 feet up, but now he's
90.
90 feet. Do I have 2 points now for this problem? I have one about 0, 0. Because at 11 o'clock, we're calling 11 o'clock 0, and he didn't climb anywhere yet. He was like, hey, a cliff. All right. So write a linear function. That form represents the distance to time feet. Okay. So now I have 0, 0. And again, let's list this. This means at 11 a.m., he is not climbed. He's thinking about it. He starts to climb as it hits 11. He's like, oh, it's now 11 in a few seconds. Now I'm going to climb. Okay, so that's one point. That's the other point. How can I find the slope?
Slope intercept.
So y2 minus y1, right? Over x2 minus x1. And I probably should label, well, I don't know, x1, y1, I guess, and then x2, y2, I guess, right? Is that okay? So let's figure out what we know. I got 0 minus 90, 0 minus 90, and then 0 minus 45. So that comes out to negative 90 over negative 45. Negative over negative is positive, right?
Right.
45 goes into 90 how many times? 2. So slope of 2. Okay, so let's think about this. Let's think about this. He has a slope of 2. He is climbing 2 feet per minute. That's pretty slow. Must be a tough cliff. I don't know. Maybe he's just being overly cautious.
That's me.
So how fast is the climber climbing? The climber is climbing. We found our slope to be 2, which is the same thing as 2 over 1. So the climber is going 2 feet per 1 minute. That's what the slope means in the context of this problem. Uh-oh. At what time did the climber reach the top of the cliff? I have no idea. At this rate, it could be like sometime next year. 2 feet per minute. Jeez. All right, let's find the equation. So I'm going to use point slope. We can figure this out. So let's use point slope. So point slope is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. All right. I have 2 different points given. I know that my slope is this, right? We just found that. But then I had our starting point, which we called this. Agree?
Mm-hmm.
And I had the other point, which we called 45 comma, I forget. 90? Now, if I'm going to use point slope, it's not going to matter which one I plug in. It's going to be the same linear equation both ways. Which one looks like it'd be totally easier to plug in? 0, 0. Everyone feel comfortable with that? So I'm going to, some of you are like, dude, let's go hardcore. But I'm like, dude, check this out. I got this, which means y equals 2x, right? You're like, no, do the other one. Okay, let's use the other one. That's x1, y1. Okay, that's fine. So I get y minus 90, still with me? 2 times x minus 45. Now you're sitting there going, here's the dumb now. It ain't the same as that. Oh, okay, let me solve this though. I'm going to distribute, so y minus 90 equals 2x minus 90. Hey, how do I bring that 90 over? Add it. If I add 90, I'm showing Mr. Sturb, the guy has no idea what math is. There's no way that y equals 2x is the same thing as y equals 2x. Oh, wait. Right? Wait. It's just your rate of, it's your velocity.
Oh.
That's all it is. Make sense? So we're not like climbing this. We're going up, we're climbing at a rate. So we're not like saying, hey, look, this is where we're climbing a rate. All right, now last question says this. When does this guy reach the top of the cliff? How big is this cliff?
350.
How much? 350? All right, ready? So they told us in the beginning it was a 350-foot cliff, yes? Equals 2x. You still with me?
Yeah.
So x equals, 2 goes in there, 1, 2, 125 minutes. after he started climbing. Okay, hang on. 125 minutes. That's 2 hours and 5 minutes, right? So 2 hours and 5 minutes. 2 hours and 5 minutes. If he started climbing at 11, what time did he get to the top? 1:05 p.m. So at 1:05 p.m., homeboy, Mr. Climbing at 2 feet per minute, got to the top. All right. So, my friends, I would like for you to do page 99 and 100. Page 99 and 100. Good? Does that make sense? We good?
Yep.
Everyone happy?
You need to tell me something.
What are you going to tell me?